Mayor, thanks for coming on Middays.
It's a pleasure, Gerard. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. This is just an awesome time, an awesome event, and everybody needs to come see it and experience it. It's incredible.
It truly is a surprise to me at the fact that there are still people in Mississippi that have never been to Cruisin the Coast.
Yeah.
I mean, 26 years of this and the crowds and the wonderful stuff happening here for 10 days. It's a great event.
It really is. And I was remarking to Woody, the executive director, who was on the program earlier, and of course, Mayor Fofo Gillich of Biloxi. This looks like a bigger crowd than last year to me.
I think it is. I think this is going to be a record-setting crowd for sure, and the number of cars that continue to grow, it's like, so how many more are we going to be seeing here?
And that's the ones that are registered.
That's right.
Because we've learned from Woody this morning, we got a lot here that haven't registered. And, of course, this is kind of a snowball situation, isn't it, Mayor? People come here and they're saying, I'm never missing this again once they come for the first time.
Absolutely, and it especially is that way in Pascagoula. It's amazing how our venue has grown. We are serious about Cruisin the Coast in Pascagoula, and year after year after year, we see repeat visitors who say, this is my favorite place.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, it's just a really great opportunity for the city of Pascagoula, and we welcome everybody over that way.
Well, I feel like the more that we can get people from outside of Mississippi inside the great state of Mississippi and experience all that we have to offer, and especially interact with the people, whatever opinion they had and perception of the state prior to that, it changes once they get here.
Absolutely does. We see it all the time. We've been reading about some of these retirees from California and New York who get to the point in their lives that it's time to make some changes.
Yep.
And they show up in Mississippi and they say, oh my gosh, I can't afford to live in California as a retiree or New York or Arizona. And Mississippi is where they want to be, and they love it here, and they'll never leave.
Well, and if you think about the quality of life, you've got all the ingredients. You really do. You've got great schools, great health care, great shopping, great amenities, great culture, safe communities, beauty of the Gulf Coast. All the above.
Oh, it's just wonderful. In Pascagoula, we not only have the easy access to the barrier islands and the type of offshore fishing, we have the Pascagoula River, which is the longest unobstructed free-flowing river in the United States. And you get up that way and you can do some serious freshwater fishing.
Yeah, and I've been around it in incredibly pristine, undisturbed nature.
Absolutely.
It's just unbelievable.
It truly is.
Right here. So, and this is also a situation, isn't it, Mayor, where all the communities, all the counties really do work in concert with each other to pull this thing off and make it be the best it can be.
Oh, it is. It has become such a huge organization. It takes everybody working together.
Sure.
And planning begins very shortly after this year's event is over for next year's event, and everybody puts their heads together and their hands together, and we have a lot of planning and preparation that's going on in Pascagoula right now.
It really is incredible. So the mayor of Biloxi said earlier that just within a radius of our position right here, there's like 7,000 hotel rooms, which is incredible when you think about it.
Isn't that amazing? And it wasn't that many years ago that we didn't have that type of growth.
Right.
And that's been such a blessing for tourism on the Gulf Coast, and so many good things happening, and we're just proud to be a part of it over in Pascagoula.
Tell us about what's going on in your city, the city of Pascagoula. I understand that you've got a new Rolls-Royce plant opening up. Is that right?
This is the Center of Excellence #2. The Rolls-Royce plant's been there for a couple of decades probably.
Okay.
They manufacture these huge propellers, the size of the bus behind us.
Okay.
I'm talking large propellers. And not only for the ships that are being built at Ingalls Shipbuilding, but we are now the supplier for propellers in Maine, in the shipyards in Maine, and the shipyards in Virginia, the nuclear submarines. They haul these propellers way up north, way far away. And tomorrow is the grand opening for the newest Center of Excellence, which includes a training program for future employees interested in going to work for Rolls-Royce.
What were the key factors, you believe, in their selection of Pascagoula for this facility?
I think that we already have such a reputation of having a quality, educated, hardworking workforce. With Ingalls Shipbuilding and their 15,000 employees and 3,000 more just recently announced openings, the Chevron refinery, which is the largest Chevron refinery in the United States, Halter Marine, and the growth they have seen, we have a real culture of loving our industries and supporting them any way that we possibly can. And we continue to plan on building on that and seeing more and more growth. We have an amazing economic development foundation, which is a public-private partnership that all the industries work together to bring more industries to Pascagoula.
Okay. Well, and you touched on something when you began remarking on that, Mayor, which is the workforce. This is the number one thing we hear from all businesses that are thinking about where to locate, where to expand, how to expand, and so forth. So it's their number one checkbox item. Can we get qualified, good workers, good labor to staff out our organization? Number one.
Absolutely. And with the kind of growth that we are seeing, when you have 3,000 new jobs opening up, it can be a challenge just to find those workers.
No doubt.
Much less bring them to South Mississippi.
Yeah, no doubt. But there's so much a positive to be a resident here, to work here, to live, to play. Hopefully it's getting a little easier to attract those people, because I think all the coastal communities have done a fantastic job of really making this a place that is conducive to doing business.
Absolutely, and a lot of the results have come from organizations like Coastal Mississippi, who's here today sponsoring this event.
Yep.
Getting the word out, doing whatever they possibly can, and we've had real success in it being a one coast approach. All of the 6 coastal counties working together, the mayors talking to each other on a regular basis and figuring out best practices. How do we do things? What do we need? What can I do differently to make my town better?
Because everybody benefits.
Absolutely.
I mean, even though in the case of the Rolls-Royce plant located physically in Pascagoula, the reality is the entire coastal area benefits from
Absolutely. And many of the workers in Pascagoula live up and down the coast, as far north as Hattiesburg and Laurel, and drive in every day. But we are the engine driving the economy of South Mississippi, the state of Mississippi, and even a big part of the United States.
Yeah, no doubt. And the key is, isn't it, Mayor, we got to tell the story. And we're getting better at that. We're a whole lot better at that, I think, now than we were a short few years ago, telling the story, because once folks hear the story, okay, I'm sold. And that's usually what the result is.
That's exactly right. Once they hear what we have to offer in Pascagoula, the quality of life that they can have in a wonderful, high-paying job, they're sold. They don't leave.
Yeah, and it's not by accident. I mean,
That's right.
It's all intentional.
That's right.
And a lot of that is, I think, a result of listening on the part of municipal and county governments, listening to industry, hearing what they need. You can't make those decisions in a vacuum, and I think those mistakes in our country in general have been made, and hopefully responsive and responsible government has figured out, we need to listen to what these people need and create an environment that really meets their needs.
No doubt. That's exactly what we try to do, and we've gotten to the point where we understand the importance of tooting our own horn.
Yeah,
and we have the right people in the right places allowing us to do that.
You got to do it. And events like this, Cruisin the Coast, really kind of put the icing on the cake, to use a metaphor there, because people see, the activity and the flow of people in here, and this extravaganza, all of these hotels, all the restaurants, all the businesses, and all these fantastic cars, and the good people from all over the country. That really tells the story to a great extent.
It does. It does. It's a wonderful, wonderful time.
Mayor, thanks so much for coming on, and congratulations on all your success in the city of Pascagoula and on the Gulf Coast and on this event. Thank you,
Gerard,
sir.
thank you so much for inviting me, and we have great things happening in the city of Pascagoula. We want everybody cruising the coast to show up Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for our cruise.
You got it. Jay Willis, the mayor of Pascagoula, has been our guest